this week's episode of Huntingtown High School's Overcast Podcast. Whether the weather is sunny or gray, the Overcast Podcast will bring cheer your way. This week's podcast is Artsy Entities with our host, Addison Sunderland.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Artsy Entities, a podcast about anything and everything that's creating beauty at Huntingtown High School. I'm your host, Addison Sunderland, and I'm an artist of many forms here to spread the imagination to all. Today we have...
Hi, I'm Taylor Eversole, part of Eye of the Storm.
And I'm Zaria McMurray, also part of Eye of the Storm.
And Taylor's a senior, Zaria's a junior. Mm-hmm. So you guys work as heads in hard tech and soft tech.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I'm one of the heads of set construction and the head of makeup and part of paint.
Oh, and yeah, I'm the head of costumes, so costume.
So how long have you been working with Eye of the Storm?
I've been working since my freshman year, or as much as I could my freshman year, and I've worked all the way through to my senior year.
Yeah, I've been with Eye of the Storm since my freshman year as well, and I plan to continue it to my senior year,
So you know the work environment very well then?
Yes, very much so.
How would you describe the work environment? Hard tech is very hostile. Not not like in any sort of like. It's just very like, okay, do this, now do this, now do this, now do this, and you get sweaty and you're moving wood. It's all in a good way though, because it feels very productive as you're doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the word I was looking for. It does. You can feel how productive the environment is. Like costumes, it's just like the next thing, just without the sweating, like Taylor said. But like it's always like, what job am I going to do next? Yeah.
Right. So you guys control the areas that you're the head of, and what are some of the jobs that you have in that field?
In set construction, I helped to design 2 of the sets for our show, and then I started off with building and getting all the measurements and stuff for that down, and just training freshmen on how to do different things, like using drills and what screws are, and like what size screws are which and whatever. And for the past couple weeks, I've been painting a mural on the back wall for our show.
Yeah. And then as far as costumes, my job is first design them, of course, but I do that with other people and they help me out. And then from there, I with other people buy fabric, measure the fabric. We have to get patterns. We have to get people's measurements and basically just make the costumes that we need and just order stuff that we can't make or need to rent or just stuff like that.
So a pretty heavy workload, you would say?
Yeah, but it's over the course of a good amount of time, and it doesn't ever feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of this right now. It's very okay, we'll do this, and then we need to do this, and then we need to do this. So it's very step by step, at least in hard tech it is.
Yeah, it's it's when you if you were to lay it down all right in front of you, yes, it's a lot, but it's if you keep that urgency that we were kind of talking about, it doesn't feel like a lot, especially if you're enjoying yourself or like what you're doing.
And the people all work together. It's not one person doing everything. It's groups.
Yes. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that.
Exactly. I mean, we call ourselves heads, but we're supposed to be a team. Mm-hmm. It's a team effort.
No, it very much is, because I know for sure I couldn't build a whole flat by myself. I would need someone, at least 2 or 3 people helping me on one thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I could not. Oh my God, I could not do it. So it's a team effort.
Yeah. Would you say there's any cons to working in a team, pros and cons?
Sometimes when people aren't as experienced in different things in hard tech, if somebody isn't as good at using a drill, you kind of just have to work around that. There are ways you can work around it. It's like one person can hold while you screw, so you don't have to have like somebody stripping all the bits and stuff. But yeah, it definitely, like, you just have to work around a lot of issues sometimes.
Yeah, and also you can't really control people. So finding a way to make sure everybody's engaged, that's what I found is really hard sometimes. Like sometimes people just kind of like lose focus. I mean, I do it, so I get it, but just making sure it's a little hard working with a team when you're supposed to be working as a team and there are just like a few people who just kind of lose that focus or whatever. Or second, same thing in soft tech. Lack of experience is definitely something you kind of have to work around or work on. So yeah.
Would you guys say that working in Eye of the Storm, like with acting and with tech, prepares you for life beyond high school?
Yes, so much. At least I don't know how like soft tech is. I mean, yeah. But knowing how things can be built and how to use the tools that we know how to use is super helpful in like just life in general. Like if I wanted to build myself a kitchen table, I could. And it's a good thing to know how to do. And the work ethic that you learn is really helpful because it's something that I don't know if you learn just by like going to school and doing assignments, because that's a very like, yes, you know how to turn assignments, but do you know how to do a real life thing in time?
Yeah. Also, it teaches you, like, I want to say, like, I don't know the word, but, like, people manners, I guess. Like, you are around people all the time. You have to work with people. You have to, it's just people, people, people. And I feel like it's a good way to interact. I feel like I've learned a lot about respect, just about, like, my peers and, like, just whatever. And also, like, soft tech is a lot, well, there's a lack of it, kind of. We're not going to talk about it, but organization. But, like, it's taught me that, like, I'm, like, now, organization for me now, like, in my own life, organization in my life now is, like, kind of a big thing. And I truly did get that from soft tech because everything has to be organized to complete something.
Yeah, so it helps you with social skills, like basic skills for, having a home and, just living
Yeah.
your life. What if a listener wanted to get involved with Eye of the Storm? How would they get involved?
Just stay after school one day. All you have to do is stay after one day, and you will learn how to get involved. People will take you in and give you jobs, and it's a little late now to audition for the play, but we have auditions for the musical sometime in December if you want to be in the musical.
And you don't, literally, all you have to do is walk in. You walk in, and I'm 99% sure somebody is going to be like, hey, do you have a job? Like, also, one of the things that I always hear is like, oh, well, I don't do this or I don't do that. You'll get taught. Like, somebody is going to be there to teach you. Like, you don't have to know how to do anything. You'll get experience. So, yeah.
You really don't have to know how to do anything, like absolutely anything.
Like, nothing. Just walk
Because
in.
I didn't know how to do anything, and now I'm one of the heads of set construction, so
Yeah.
So the main thing is just show up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining the podcast today and educating us a little bit more about Eye of the Storm and the technical aspect of it. We'll end our episode with a quote from the well-known theatrical actor Terrence Mann. Movies will make you famous, television will make you rich, but theater will make you good. Have a great weekend, everyone, and make sure to tune in next week for more Artsy Entities.
And that's it for today's episode of Huntingtown High School's Overcast podcast. This week's podcast has been Artsy Entities with your host, Addison Sunderland. Whether the weather is sunny or gray, the Overcast podcast will bring cheer your way. Check us out next month.